on this computer. All right, today is 2nd of May, and today what we are going to do, we are going to see the Kubernetes installation in all type of different mediums, right? So how you can get up and running a Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so I am thinking to provide you at least 2 to 3 flavors. One is installing manually, which is like, installing on the Kubeadm, like creating a Kubernetes cluster in a hard way that you can, check to know what are all the components, what are all things, how to do that. So those things we are going to cover. And also we are also going to see a Kubernetes cluster locally as a minikube or Docker desktop. And also, if time permits, I don't think AWS we will go, because for AWS only I have completely a real-time work or real-time things is already already there, which is I'm currently working for my company. So that one only I'll just showcase how exactly I have done the CI, the CD, the complete branching strategy, and also how it is calling to the Kubernetes cluster and deploying on the fly. Okay, cool. So with that, let's begin with our first thing. What is that? Now, Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so in the last section, we have covered what exactly is Kubernetes cluster is being all about, right? So we also gone through what are all the components, what are the master components, what it looks like, what's basically, calls, which holds what are the scheduler, all those parts we have covered, correct? Yes or no? Right? So so next is now installing Kubernetes. Okay, so first, as I'm holding a Mac, so I will showcase, or I will go through on the Mac first. And similarly, if you guys are holding any Windows machine, so you can go ahead with the minikube installation. But I'm really not fan of Windows. So what you can do is you can go ahead and create a VM or virtual box. You can create multiple VMs through to 3 to 4 VMs, and you can play around with it. Okay, so first thing is the easiest, the best. I mean, the one of the best or the easiest on anyone whoever is using, that is nothing but that is Docker desktop. Okay, so Docker desktop is one of the best, one of the I would say the enterprise world, or anyone, if someone they are things are on the already on the Kubernetes, so I think then definitely Docker desktop is definitely to go forward, because they gives a lot of things. You do not have to expose anything and all. Automatically it takes care of most of the parts. Okay, so to do that, so just go to the preference. Okay, and that is, as you can see, there is general Docker engine, blah blah blah, all these parts. So there is Kubernetes, and as you can see, it is version 1.19.7, and I just have to click on enable Kubernetes. That's all. Apply and restart. Automatically it is going to pull HCD master API server. It is going to bundle it, and it is going to run it on this my Mac. And then Docker is going to providing all type of UX thing, which is Kubernetes basically do not need it. So basically your machine, your client wants to speak to the Kubernetes. So as we have already seen that Docker via Docker API is going to connect to the Kubernetes API, which is the one and then the in and out of the Kubernetes system. So that is where it just connects and it just get it done. So as you can see, it is running. It is completely. So that's it. That's all you just have to do, and your Kubernetes cluster is ready. So how do you do that? To do that, to connect to the cluster, you will be needing kubectl. Okay, so kube control, some will call it as kubectl. I don't know why. So so kubectl or kube control, kubectl or whatever, kubesuttle or whatever they, you heard the names. Everyone has their own pronunciation. So I'm not going to blame them, but I usually call it as kubectl, easy. The name suggests kubectl. No need to know other stuff. No need to, have some arguments and all. I have seen many arguments with this kubectl in my, company also. So you can go ahead with easy, simple, and go ahead with kubectl. And if I have asked Surya and whoever have working, they will provide their different pronunciation. Okay, we'll start. Okay, Surya, what are all things you have heard with kubectl?
Yeah, I have two. One is kubectl and the one is kubectl.
See.
And another,
And what about our Somik? You heard any new names?
No, same kubectl.
Okay, cool. And Abhishek?
Same kubectl.
Awesome, awesome. So if you are hearing kubectl, or I would also recommend, or I will also encourage to, not to go ahead with kubectl, cuddle, or something. Just simple, whatever it is written, kubectl. I mean, kube control. So we are controlling the cluster. That is why kubectl. Okay. So kubectl version, as you can see, kubectl is the client version. Okay, so client has a version and server also has a version. So the moment when you download, so automatically it has a power that, as you can see, kubectl client version is 1.919, and the server, it is running with 1.20. So there may be very high chances is that it has been downloaded the latest one. So that may be the part that server is running with 1.20.2. Okay, so our so now next, now kubectl, basically, how do you come to know how your Kubernetes is running? The kubectl get version, I just wanted to see there is nothing is there. So similarly, as you have seen, kubectl version, sorry, kubectl version, it is going to show you everything. And if you do a short, it is going to give you a short version of your kubectl. Okay, so how do you connect? So automatically it is have downloaded all those background magic, so you do not have to do. But how do you come to know, yeah, my I'm connecting or I'm getting to the Kubernetes cluster? Yeah, just kubectl get nodes. Okay, so this is nothing but the same swarm, like like what you do, docker swarm node ls, docker node ls, or something like that. So docker earlier, as completely docker is the one who was managing the swarm. Here kube control or kubectl is the one who is managing or interacting with your cluster. That is why kubectl get nodes, and it is going to provide you saying that, hey, it is current name is minikube, and it is ready, and it is control plane and master, and it is running within 15 hours. So
Bhai, sorry to interrupt. Could you please maximize?
yeah, okay, all right. So kubectl get nodes. Okay, so now as you can see, it is running minikube, right? But you have also seen that my Kubernetes is running on the Docker desktop. So what's exactly it is about minikube, right? So minikube is also a one more feature or one more locally or a single node cluster. You can call it as a single node cluster, which it will be run as a virtual, and it has all those master and the all the worker components. So basically it's a single node cluster, and it basically runs on this machine. But the question is, why my the moment whenever I'm running on the Docker desktop, why it is connecting to the Minikube? So this is where it thinks a new feature comes into picture, which we call it as a namespace or context. Docker uses, or also similarly in kubectl world, it is namespace. In Docker world, it is context. So like that, so Docker get context. CONTX. No, okay, let me get it. Okay, so there are two ways. How do you come to know? Now, the moment when you do that, so where exactly your Kubernetes is currently running, which context, which namespace it is currently running. So as you can see, I'm running in two different contexts. As you can see, one is Minikube, one is Docker desktop. And the moment when I click on the Docker desktop, now I will do kubectl get nodes, and it is going to change Docker desktop. So how cool is that? And I'm running two different Kubernetes cluster in separate, completely different isolated areas, and automatically I can switch back, switch in, and I can run different types of my workloads. So that is the beauty of it. And by using this, I can run 100 of port 80 on Docker desktop, and I can run similarly the same configuration application on the Minikube, because it is running on a different namespace. So kubectl get contextx. Let's see context. Okay, just a minute. Let me get that. CONTEXT. CONTEXT. Kubernetes get context. Okay, so that is nothing. So Docker get CONTEXT. Kubectl. Okay, so we'll see to that later. I have a lot of commands are for you, but this is where exactly I wanted to showcase how do you install and how do you switch back and forth with the different types of context. So similarly, if you want how to change, so this is, wait a minute, kubectl help. So you can also get the help with kubectl get help. So there are a lot of information about this, and we are also going to see each and every part and every commands, whatever we are going to showcase. So to begin with, I just wanted to go ahead with kubectl get nodes. Automatically it will come to showcase what all things are running at the moment. And the next one is cluster status. It is going to showcase where exactly your cluster is running at the moment. As you can see, there is scheduler is unhealthy, control manager is unhealthy, but HCD is healthy. I'm not sure what's why exactly it is coming, but yeah, we have to take a look. So meanwhile, let me go ahead and switch the context to the Minikube, and we'll come to know what is the cluster status about it. Get nodes, Minikube, cluster CS, and as you can see, it is also having the control manager, scheduler, HCD, but I'm not sure why exactly it is coming like this, but let me go ahead and let me change it to Docker desktop, and let me restart it. Okay, so that there may be some chances is that it is not working correctly. So let me go ahead and let me do that. Let me do a mini cube stop as well. Okay, so Minikube, how to do and all, I'm not explaining because many documents or many things are there on that part. So purposefully only I'm not explaining. But yeah, these are the things which you want or want to have on your machine. Okay, so let it get started. So Kubernetes, okay, Docker desktop only I'm doing. Again, we are just getting started. So, basically we are just still with Docker desktop. So there are many things are there. So if you have any kind of questions, so be here.
So this Docker desktop we can install in our local laptop, Windows laptop as well, right?
Yes. Okay, now everything is running. So Kubernetes is starting. So let it be start. So it is going to take some time, if I'm not wrong. So basically, what you guys use on the on cloud, in premises, or own clusters, or cloud managed clusters. So basically, what exactly you do?
In our environment, we are using cloud-based cluster,
Okay,
both AKS and EKS.
okay, AKS and EKS. Okay, so Azure as well as Amazon, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not sure why exactly it is coming like this. So, basically, it has to be healthy. But anyways, we will see. So kubectl get CS. It is basically the cluster status, and it should give you what all the clusters or cluster components are running. What are, is there any healthy or not? Okay. So similarly, let me go ahead and let me mini cube start. So let me do that.
Can we see API server status for
Yeah. We'll see. Okay, so there is some problems happening with the mini cube. So I'm not putting any effort to how to do and all. So I'll be directly switching to the next level of things. So because right now here it is completely running right. So I'll just go ahead and I'll switch to the cloud based. Okay, so first thing you need Docker for desktop, and this is how you can enable it. Even you can do it with Minikube as well. Okay, so now let's switch to our cloud, Google Cloud or cloud-based platforms, and let's see how exactly it is being defined or how easy it is to create a cluster and to run a workload. Okay, so please, again, this is going to be a complete installation and the components parts lectures. So next week, once we are comfortable with the installation, I'll also provide you some of the things to go with manual installation and create a cluster. Then only we will provide, we will go ahead with our deployments and next level of steps. Okay. All right. So Google has things like, as you can see in the compute section, one is, just a moment. Google has in the compute section, there is compute engine. And as you can see in the compute engine section, there are, VM instances, instance templates, role templates. So those are the things where you can create your VMs. Okay. And in the which we will be, taking a look is, which is nothing but Kubernetes engine. So as you can see, there are clusters. So if you go to the cluster, there are no, you can, Kubernetes is going to provide you two types of options. Say like, you manage, and basically you can create your own cluster or the workloads. So basically in the cloud environment, they are telling that you do not have to worry about your Kubernetes management. That means your master nodes, how high availability is, what all things it is, but we will take care of that. You basically take care of the how you are deploying your cluster, how you are deploying your containers, the pods, your application basically. Okay, so that is where this Kubernetes gains a very big I would say name on the cloud environment, be it Google, be it AWS, be it Azure. So everyone is coming and providing their managed solution. So here, the moment it is easy, so you can just go ahead and create. So here it is going to provide you two options. One is standard and is autopilot. So Google has provided something called autopilot. That means you do not have to do anything. It's like AKS, on the Fargate, on the AWS. Similarly, autopilot is the same kind of, or a optimized version of a Fargate on EKS. On that means you just have to pay and for the pod. That's it. That's all. And rest, everything will be taken care by your Google uh, uh, or the AWS or the Azure. So why these people are coming up with this, managed environment? We are going to see the moment when you deploy. Actually, deploy, manage a Kubernetes cluster. Then only you will understand how difficult it is to manage, to configure, to create a Kubernetes cluster and manage it. So that is where all these cloud providers, they are telling that, hey, we will take care of the management of your master nodes. It is highly available, all those sort, but you just only focus on the basically on your application. So we will take care of it. So we are not going ahead with the autopilot moment at the moment. We are going ahead with this standard. So let's go ahead and click on configure. And here we are going to see what all the options we have. Okay, so basically you can create your own name, or you can create your first cluster. So you can provide the name, my cluster, okay, which zone you wanted to have, or which region you wanted to have. So basically you can choose that. I'm choosing the default. And control plane version, that means the Kubernetes master version. So whether you want it to be a static, which is the old one, or which is the latest, and what is basically a release version, we call it as static is, which is like a more stable bug-free environment, which is many people are using a release version or release channel, which is currently release, which is actively working on. So as you can see, there are stable channel, rapid channel. The moment when I do rapid channel, automatically I'll be having much more things. So similarly, if I see, as you can see, it is having 20, but if I the moment when I'll do stable channel, it will stick to 17, 18, up to 18 only. And if I'll do regular channel, and it would be like 18 and 19. So basically it is like the flexibility, because all the Kubernetes version would be having more and more different API changes and all these new things. So that is why you do not have to worry about it. You just have to mention that, okay, what is the best working release channel for you. You can go ahead with this, and then you can click on these nodes. Then you can check, okay, what type of nodes, what exactly the image is running. So there are container optimized OS, which is Docker default, and there is something called container optimized OS with container D. As you have seen that Docker has been decrypted, so that is why they are giving us container D as well. And also we are also going to see how do you install without Docker and currently run Kubernetes cluster as well. So Docker with Ubuntu, this all these things, basically I'm just going ahead with the first default thing. So machine type, general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized, GPU general purpose, because we are demoing this stuff. That is why I'm taking computer optimized, like, if a system, if application is many system or memory or optimized, so that is where you wanted to have, or you wanted to do very CPU intense program. So in that case, you can go ahead and choose. As you can see, the moment when I choose, it is automatically took 4 CPU and 16 gig memory. So if it is having memory optimized, it is, as you can see, it is having 96 core with 1.4 terabyte of memory. So I'm not choosing that one, otherwise my credits will go in seconds. Okay. So now coming to this, GPU, whenever you are doing any kind of photo processing or any heavy processing kind of thing, that time you can go ahead and choose GPU, and it is very, very heavy. And believe me, it is also going to eat your money like anything. But our things is like, just create a Kubernetes cluster. So we'll go ahead with our general purpose, which is having one virtual CPU with 4 gig of RAM. So and also it is having two virtual CPU and 4 gig. So that this is the machine type, and this is the things, the basically one, if it is having one shared core and 4 gig of memory. Now coming to the CPU platform and all, so you can choose SSD and hard disks and SSD. So balanced means it's kind of a hybrid. So I'm not doing any much activity over here. So I'm just choosing standard 100 gig. Basically by default, whatever it is coming. So enable customer management encryption for boot disk. I do not want to do any kind of encryption, because it's just a say, what do you call, for a demo purpose. So I do not want to do that. So preempted, so I mean preemptable nodes. So that is basically you wanted to have it for the 24 hours, then after that automatically it should go away. So like the flash shell, or you wanted to announce a something for 2 hours only. In that case, this comes very, very handy, where you do not have to specifically manage the things and all. Automatically 2 hours happens, completed, done, and automatically the things or the systems will go down after that. So maximum node for node. So basically it is default is 110. So sorry, maximum pods. So if this is a basically a interview questions, that how many pods a node can have. So basically it is, the answer is 110. So I'm not going and doing anything, or you can go over with this, change it also. So that is depends on you or your company policy. But yeah, 110 is the maximum part. So network tags, I'm not giving any kind of network tags. I'm not providing any kind of things. So that is where these things will be go as that. Now coming to security. So basically, these security things you can manage through your IAM. What are all things you wanted to do? What are all the access you wanted to make? All those sort. So then metadata. So basically you wanted to, if you wanted to have metadata that's saying that, hey, swap and value is Kate cluster. So basically, this is makes more easier saying that, okay, what is the labels it is currently having, so that I can create, or I can toggle in between. So now coming to this automation, you can have enable the moment when you click on the enable maintenance window. So basically, you do not have to take care anything. That means anything, automatically everything will be taken care by the Kubernetes part. So when you want to have your automation or maintenance window, you can choose and you can check that. So maintenance exclusions. So you can have, okay, so every Saturday or every Sunday, you'll be having some kind of deployment. So in that case, you can provide your maintenance exclusions as well. So you can provide enable notification, vertical pod auto scaling, auto provisioning, every possible part. We are also going to see deep dive, I mean deep level. But yeah, as the things are there, so my job is to provide each and every possible solution or possible options, whatever we are seeing at the moment. Now coming to networking, just a moment. Coming to the networking, so by default it is having default network. So you want to run on your own thing, then you have an option, but I would suggest to go ahead with the default. There is no harm on doing that. So node subnet, you can choose with the default. If you have a private cluster, that means if you are creating a separate VPC, in that case you can also go ahead, and as you can see, enable VPC native traffic routing. So as you guys are already working on the cloud, so I do not have to explain what is VPC, how the traffic routes and all, but yeah, basically it, basically just make sure all those traffic comes very smoothly. Okay, so you can have some ranges also if you are running a different private cluster and all, and also maximum pods also, it is 110. You can change it. And yeah, so enable node local DNS cache, enable HTTP load balancing. Already we have seen that Kubernetes is going to take care of your load balancing part. That is where it is HTTP load balancing. And subsetting L4 internal load balancer, we are not going to see that. We have something different on our mind. So yeah, these options we do not need anything. So now coming back to the security side, basically security wise, you can have SE Linux, you can have pod security policies, you can have airbag. We can, we are going to see that also we can manage through YML, but basically cluster level, if it is a mutually enabled, I think that should be more than enough. And metadata, you can, already I have given. You can also provide one more, Clade demo cluster. Then you can provide a name as well based on the things. You can also provide, web and Kate, something like that. So yeah, so features. Basically, this is serverless. If you want to do any part of things, so basically enabling HCO, but we do not need it. So yeah, these are the things which I'll be interested on, and I'll be doing. All right, so any questions? Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and I'll get ahead and I'll start. So, and also number of nodes, as you can see, is gonna give me 3 nodes. All right, so tell me if you have any kind of questions. I'm all ears. Otherwise, I'm gonna hit create.
So for each node there will be 110 pods, right?
All right.
So the port will also be the same.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to hit create because it is going to take at least 6 to 7 minutes, and we can have discussion right now. All right, yep. It's going to take probably, because it is going to spin up 3 nodes on this location, and that is where it is going to take some time at least, and we can discuss right now whatever if you have any kind of questions or something.
Hello, bhai. You said the number of nodes is 3. So all the 3 nodes are both master and worker node, or only one master, 2 worker node? So that's the confusion.
No, I'm not able to hear properly. Come again, one more time.
See, the number of nodes is 3. So all 3 are master and as well as worker node, or only one master or 2 are worker node?
Okay,
So
so basically all these cloud environment, they do not, if you are using their service, if you are using their Kubernetes service, they are not going to provide you any access to the master nodes, okay, or any of the HCD or any of the scheduler or the API server. So basically what they do is they provide you the nodes or the worker nodes where you can deploy any of the pods. Good.
yes.
So it is going to taking some time. Yeah. How many of you right now working on the Kubernetes? No one?
I work.
Abhishek was working, but he's not telling.
Yes, I am working on this.
Okay, you are working. All right. Surya, you are not working completely? Not at all?
No, not at all. I do have a chance to work, but
Okay, so you
before
are
that,
working on ECS completely then?
no, not EKS only. EKS also. I am just
Oh,
like
you are
what
managing. Okay, you are managing the complete Terraform
cloud,
part.
cloud and Terraform. Like how you do, deploy this, Google container. Same way I will do, but through Terraform. That's my job. But I have a chance to do this working on Kubernetes as well. Before that, I have to clarify everything, so that it's a high level they are using. I'm not understanding at all. Even though if I say I will work, but they will not give that much clarity on
Okay.
that. So this is the task you want to do, you do it. So likewise they will tell. So I have to uh, get a basic knowledge so that I can start working on that. If I am interested, then I can work. If I am not interested, then there is no force to do.
Okay, nice. But yeah, so with my lectures, I'll make sure you guys are completely pro on the Kubernetes, okay? As you can see, our Kubernetes cluster is right there, right ready, and it is having total CPU 6 and total memory is 12. And all these options you have already seen. There are number of nodes would be 3, and each would be 2 cores, and having 4 cores, 4 GB of machines. So that is why it suggests you it is having total virtual CPU is 6 and memory is 12. All right. How do you connect? So this is where you can just have to click on the cluster. You can click on connect. It is going to give you 2 big options. One is Google Cloud container, get credential cluster, blah, 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 blah. Or else you can choose run in the cloud shell. Okay, so you have 2 options. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first showcase here. All right, because I have installed Google Cloud on my local machine, and I just have to hit it, and it is going to fetch. And the moment when I do kubectl get nodes, There you go. It should show me 3 nodes from the Google Cloud. That's it. So from my machine, I just gone and whatever the connected on the Google Cloud, there I just connected and I have reflected got my nodes. So this is what's how do you connect, and now if you'll check the context, it was being changed. So there is a one more context comes into picture. One is Docker Desktop, one is GKE, one is Minikube. So right now I have added it here. So right now, the moment when if I wanted to switch, if I wanted to do any kind of changes, I can switch my context and I can get back to my work. Okay. So now let me showcase how exactly it happens on the cloud or a cloud machine. Okay. So basically the cloud shell is nothing but one more VA inside on your cluster. You can get that the key, and you can go over, see the Kubernetes entry has been generated for my cluster, and you can just go ahead kubectl get nodes. Just a moment. Okay, kubectl get nodes, and you will get all type of information from the cluster from your Google Cloud machine. So this one sorry, this one is from my local machine, and this one is from the Google Cloud Shell. You can have two options. You can go ahead and you can do that. And as you can see, there is nothing rules, or there is no master, no anything is showcasing, because the master component is being managed by Kubernetes, managed by Google. You are not going to provide they are not going to provide any kind of information about that. Okay, but how do you get that information? Now kubectl get cs, now cluster status. Okay, the moment when you do kubectl cluster status, as you can see, control manager is there, scheduler is there, and HCD is load balanced. That means a highly available has been already provided, and it is right there. It is managed by somewhere. So even you can do kubectl clu ster cluster dash info. I think it will give you all where exactly the actual server it is running. So this is where exactly things are running. So Kubernetes master is running at this. GLBC default backend is this. That means it is managed by a HCD, managed by a HTTP proxy. That means load balanced. kubectl kubedini DNS, which is taking care of your proxy or your kube proxy. That is what is exactly kubedns, taking sure the DNS works perfectly on the inside the cluster, and metric server, which is taking care of your metrics, all these things. So it is currently running everything on this type of machines, but you do not have any options, any access to that. So you cannot do anything, but only you can manage, or you can deploy everything on your worker nodes. Cool, understood? Not getting, or it is complicated, or how is it?
So
It's
here, one second.
Yeah.
So
Go
here,
ahead.
what
Surya,
is
go
the
ahead.
role of the?
Okay, so Surya, do you have anything?
no. Go ahead.
Okay, Suman, go ahead.
So what is the role of the local machine here? What?
So okay, so the work of role machine, it's not about role, it's about the flexibility, right? So Kubernetes cluster is running in somewhere in the cloud, and Google Cloud is giving you flexibility to manage that cluster locally. That's it, nothing else.
So we have the access of kubectl through this only, right? We
Yeah.
can, as a client.
So see, kubectl is your client. Okay, To connect to a cluster, to connect to a server, you need some kind of, configuration, correct? So that cluster is running on Kubernetes. Cluster is running on the Google Cloud, somewhere in US. Okay, so that information, how do you get it? Now that information I got it from this command. The moment when I did, so it is getting the credentials. So it is got the credential, it's faced the authorization endpoint data, and it is passed on all this cube information on this cluster. We are going to see that. I purposefully not making it complicated because I do not have any plans to introduce this, how this queue config works, what is API, where exactly things works. Purposefully, I'm not telling because in this section only and only I'm focusing on a running a or currently connecting to a Kubernetes cluster. How do you connect? What is the config and all? We are going to see it later, but not at this class. So to answer your question precisely, my local machine is running. I'm running a kubectl. Kubectl is a utility to connect a Kubernetes cluster. Where exactly Kubernetes cluster is running? Now Kubernetes cluster is running on the Google Cloud. How do you connect? Now it given me a command. With that command, it fetch some of the records which authenticated with my Kubernetes server, Google cluster, Google Kubernetes cluster. And the moment when I do that, kubectl get nodes automatically from my local machine only. I'm able to showcase, I'm able to see what's exactly happening on the Google Cloud. And again, how do you come to know? Now, there is something called context. The moment when I check the context, it has been changed to TK. See, now I will switch to Docker desktop. Okay, I'll do cube nodes. See, it is showcasing Docker desktop. I switch back to my local, right? Now I will, switch to Kubernetes GKE and I will do get nodes. Automatically, it will switch back to the Kubernetes, which is running on the Google Cloud. So I know it is given me a flexibility to work on my locally, switch back to the any other cluster and deploy there and come back. So that is what exactly is kubectl is all about. Understood?
Yeah. Got it.
Awesome.
So I have
Yes.
one question. Yeah, in your Google Cloud, you
Uh-huh.
have now admin right to create that anything you wanted to create. Okay, you have the admin right.
Correct. Correct.
Suppose I want to connect to the same Google Kubernetes engine, but for
Uh-huh.
that I have to you have to add me somewhere in the
Right. Right. I have to
so
provide you IAM. That
okay.
is why IAM is there. I have to give you permissions that he is a Kubernetes engine. He is a, I'll provide you that one. I'll provide you, that is, time is there. That is almost around on the authorization airbag part. So I will
Okay,
provide
okay,
you. Yeah, to answer your questions, yes, IAM is the option.
okay, got it.
Okay. Anyone is having any more questions? Okay, let me ask. Okay, where is, okay. Okay, fine. Anyone is having any more questions? No questions?
No, sir.
All right. So if you do not have any more questions, what we are going to do is we are going to see a next level of stuff, which is installing manually. Okay. So that is where the fun begins. And let's go ahead and let's get started. All right. So if you do not have anything, this is how exactly how easy it is to create a simple cluster and go ahead and do that. So I am creating and I have deleted that. And now let me switch back to Compute Engine to showcase how to do it manually. As you can see on this one, it is running three, cluster or three VMs. It is, started off. So yeah. Okay. Now, if you'll see, it will be, not good. See, there is no connection at all. That is why, because it is getting deleted. So go to the Docker desktop. All right. Okay. So this is one of the easiest method. How do you create your own cluster? Okay. Now let's go ahead and create our own what do you call a Kubernetes cluster. How do you create manually and how do you manage it? That means manually, that means you create a master server, you create a worker node, all those sort. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's do that. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take two machines. I'm going to start them. Okay, so here what you are going to do, we are going to make a one machine to as a master node and second machine to as a, we will connect as a worker node. All right, it's connected. So let's go ahead, open the browser. Okay, let me quickly pull up the installation part. So this one we have covered. So this one basically, very hectic, I would say, on the AWS. Okay, so but what you are going to do is we're going to see manual installation. Okay, all right. Okay. So right now it is we are trying to install say 1.18 Kubernetes version, which is supported by still Docker engine, as we are having Docker at the moment. So let's go ahead and stick to the Docker. So because still now it is still, we are still with the Docker. uh, I mean, people are still using Docker for their Kubernetes workloads. So let's go ahead and install that one on the Docker side. So Docker Swarm. Okay, so Docker system prune -a y. So let's clean it completely so that should not be any hiccups. Okay. So as you can see in the picture, this picture, whatever I have mentioned, this guy, that what you are going to do, we are going to do this same setup right now. Okay. We are going to mention as a master node, and we are going to, here in the picture, it is mentioned as two worker nodes. We can make it as two worker nodes, but for the time of, interest of time, I'm going to make it one worker node. So as you can see, the master node is having, HCD, API server, control manager, scheduler, and the worker node is having Docker, Kubelet, kubeproxy. As everything is running on the containerized mode, so we'll be installing Docker in everywhere. That means on the master node as well as on the worker node. Okay, so let's begin. All right. So Docker Swarm, Docker Swarm, Docker Swarm leave. Okay, service Docker start.
It is taking time. It should not be that.
Yeah, it is taking time. So yeah, I'm not sure why exactly it is taking this much time. It should not take here. Oh, come on. So let me Docker PS. Okay, seems like this machine is gone. I am leaving it. I'm starting the third one. Okay, so I'm making it up. I'm making it. Okay, so let's check this out. Service Docker start. Oh, come on. What's happening? Okay, so this is done. Docker PS, nothing is running. So Docker Swarm, let me leave it. Docker Swarm, leave dash dash force is done. So now let me clean it. Docker system prune. DOCKR. Docker system prune. Why? It's done. Now let's take these two nodes and let's begin. All right, so now check what's there in our document now. Okay, so here the instructions are for the for our what do you call Ubuntu, but you can do the same thing for your CentOS, and also there would be some changes, and I'm going to do that. Okay, So I'm going to take help from the internet because this is my CentOS Kubeadm. It will be easier for me. All right. So I have taken it from the Kubernetes. So that is the best thing which you can go ahead and you can do. So yeah, so first thing what they are doing, they are asking us to, create our config or, IP tables, make sure everything runs perfectly. So this one, I am doing it on the first node. Okay. So I'm just following the same instruction on this machine. And sudo systemctl bridgectl. So yep, so this is done on my master node. Okay, so basically, this is not, I'm not doing. So Linux node, Docker is running, containerd is running, so CRIO, so installing. So first thing, you are going to do Kubeadm. So this is where exactly you wanted to bring your own cluster or own provided master node and as well as a worker node. You can bring up a complete cluster on your own. So Red Hat system. So first thing first. Okay, so what I'm doing now. So basically, I'm putting a Kubernetes. I'm creating a Kubernetes repo and putting all these, everything on that. So this information, if you go to the kubeadm yum.repos.d, and if you click on that, so this information would be right there with the Kubernetes, which I have just now only added it. Okay, so basically I am telling to my system where exactly to find out if someone is looking for to install Kubernetes. Okay. Now, SE Linux, I am making it sure as set enforce to 0. That means I am making it SE Linux as not enable, disable. So configuration, I'm making it permissive mode. That means it is not going to do any kind of things. Then I am installing Kubernetes over here. So to do that, let me switch sudo yum install -y. I'm installing Cubelet, Kubeadm, kube control, and disable excludes is Kubernetes. So let us install Kubelet, which is required in all those things, Kubeadm and kubectl. Okay, so it is going to install all its things. So let it install.
It's completed the installation.
So now let's check. You have to enable the kubelet. So let's do that. Okay, so it is enabled the Kubernetes kubelet service. Now let's see what's exactly it is having. So after installing every possible part, now see what is there on their document. Now C group driver, everything. So you can, okay. So once this is being done, we installed all the parts. We installed this thing. You installed Kubelet, kubectl, Kubelet, Kubernetes CNI. So basically, right now, let's not deep dive into that. So let's check this Kubeadm in it. Or else what the best thing what we can do is we can check my Medium article, which I have covered this Kubernetes part. So let's check that out. Stories published, Docker EE, okay. So what I'm doing, this is done, start Docker, install EE, this is completed, Kubeadm, system init, enable, and let's do the start Kubelet. Sorry. Okay. Now, once we started it, now let's create our control plane. Even you can provide your network CIDR, or you can, choose it to just go ahead, leave it as it is. I'm just going ahead and choosing the same CIDR, and I am giving it Kubeinit, initialize, Kubeadm, kube administrate, initialize spot network, CIDR is 10.244 series and /16. So let's hit enter. And as you can see, there is some of the problems because cannot automatically set C group drivers when starting up the kubelet. So as you can see, there is a error. It is telling configuring a C group driver, both a container runtime and the kubelet has properly called C group driver, which is important for the management on the C group machine. So this is where exactly things get complicated. I wanted to show you that one also. Just a moment. No. So basically what they are telling, C group driver matching a container runtime, configuring a C group driver. Let's go ahead
Right,
and check this one.
command টা সুরা user on করেছিল বলতে
Huh? Nine,
check
nine,
command
nine, 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 seven. Alga Jinsa. So using the C group FS driver, system D driver. Delete it. No. Okay, so let me modify the kubelet config. No, we have to see this one. Configuring the container runtime, so container runtime system D, okay. Kubelet C group driver. Feature state from this one, okay. So basically what happens, it has been downloaded the latest version, okay. So that is the problem. Why exactly it is not working. So let me try to do how, okay, just a moment. Yeah, so it has been taken 1.21. Okay, so let's see. Cannot execute Docker info C group driver exit status. Okay. So this is the new thing which is happening on the 1.21. Let's see if there is having any kind of fixes. Okay. So basically, we cannot use anymore on the Kubernetes. Sorry, Docker. Okay, that's the problem because in 1.21 series, Docker has been deprecated. Correct. So that is the reason why we are not able to use Docker anymore, and it is asking us to have a C group. Okay.
So we can use cryo here, IO.
Cryo we can use, but I wanted to show a system possible Docker info C group. Okay, let's check this one. Let's check this one. Errors. Okay. Let's check this one. Solution replace. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do this. So what's exactly doing? They are doing creating a daemon.json file, and in the daemon.json file is adding just a C groups execution option equals to C groups. So let's go ahead and add that one, and it should work like a charm. Oh, come on.
You have to a route to
DC docker daemon.json. I oops. Okay, so now it is solved. Now let's do that and see whether it is working or not. Okay, still it is not working because when starting up the kubelet, because kubelet is trying to connect.
then reload system daemon. I know system daemon reload.
It's a
To
daemon, right? So nope. Docker info. Okay, driver is this thing. Okay, what we can do is, so basically, I have to switch to root and I can do it. Let's see. No cat. Okay, let's see. Cat. Okay, there is nothing such. So it is what exactly this is our open or your cluster and not function detector signals and the document driver is system D follow the guide. Okay. Whew. Okay, let's do this. It is no more taking Docker. So let's follow this. Otherwise, will be much more time. So that's it. Done. This is restarting. So basically, what I am doing is now Docker is no more supported. That is why I have to switch back to completely to the container D. And let's try now. Okay, so basically the moment when I have switched to container D, as you can see, it is started working and it is pulling off all these kube config images pool. That means it is pulling your cluster details like your master, your API, your etcd, every possible thing it is going to pull up, and it is going to configure your API, control manager, scheduler, etcd. So let's give it some time, 4 minutes. So let's take this walk. All right. So to follow this, so you can follow this this material no, on a Kubernetes RHEL8 in container D. So this is as whatever I have mentioned or whatever I have done. So the same instructions were there. So Docker EE is no more Docker is no more supported. That basically Docker Community Edition, but Docker Enterprise Edition is still supported. So you can go ahead and still work it out. But for you guys, I would suggest not to go ahead with the Docker anymore because it is not more supported at the moment. You can go ahead and you can still try with container D or CRIO, which is CRIO. All right.
Okay, sir.
So as you can see, it is having all these Kubernetes folder, that is etc, Kubernetes, admin conf, Cubelet, manager, scheduler, all these configurations files are there, and it is having all these YMLs also. So, and that is where it is getting created, all part of things it is creating. Okay, all right. So with this, our Kubernetes master server is being created, and it is giving you your control plane. Control plane has been initialized successfully to start your using your cluster. You can go ahead and you can create your own this thing. And remember, to start using your cluster, you need to run the following. As a regular user, I am switching to normal user, and I am following the same instructions. Make directory, copy the config, chown the config. Okay. And alternatively, if you are in a root user, you can run this one. So basically, now if I'll do kubectl and dash dash version, it should connected and it should show me. Okay, sorry. kubectl, it is slow. Oh my God, it is slow, very slow. Okay, just a moment, Control C. Oh my God, it is slow, damn slow. Okay, so now it is back. Okay, so kubectl version. Let's check this out. As you can see, it is having client and this one. Let me do a short. And as you can see, client is 21 and server is also 21. So kubectl get pods. Oh dear, it is slow. Yeah, so as you can see, there is no default thing running on this part. Okay, now what you can do is, and here I have misplaced one thing, which is the token, which it has been spitted out on this part. So I have switched back and I forgot to take a note. So basically, if you have followed this guide, I have mentioned that it will be creating a spit out a token, correct? And the token, see this one, this is a token, it is going to spit out, and that spit out, I mean that token you have to go and run in on your on your worker node. Okay, so prior to that, there are options to get that token also, so I'm not worried about that. So in that case, I'll just go ahead and I will bring up the another node. Okay, so which is my worker node. Any questions till now? Any questions? Or I can also delete this Kubernetes cluster also.
I didn't really understand that container D part.
Container D, you can follow this thing. So container D, just a moment. I think I'm having a little bit of internet connectivity problem.
Hello?
Hello, huh? Yes, you're able to hear me?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Okay, you guys are able to hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Now you're able to hear me, right? So if you're able to, okay, no. Able to see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So our Deepak have asked, he did not get the container D part. So can someone tell me? Okay, so Deepak is back. So Deepak question is, he did not get the container D part, right? So
Yeah,
can
but
someone?
sorry,
Huh.
sorry. I thought I lost. I'm not sure if my connection is not stable. So I was just lost you in that container D part where we are having the issue with that CIDR
Docker.
part.
Huh. Docker, right?
Yes.
So can someone tell, I mean, tell me, let me know why we are using container D, not Docker,
Because the latest Kubernetes version That is not compatible with Docker. If you go to lower version, then it will be compatible. So as you are using the higher version of the Kubernetes, so it is, it is compatible with container D, because Docker also changed it to their application to as a container D. As a,
Okay,
they,
no. Okay. So basically, he asked a very valid point. So let me try to see, let me try to get that information where I can showcase. Just a moment. Okay, so our Soumik is certified. So
Yes.
Soumik, can you enhance our knowledge? Why?
No, actually, like in last year, they deprecated the Docker, so they
Why? Why
because
they deprecated Docker?
I think because of some, so not sure why, but they deprecated because some they need some.
Hmm? No, wrong. Anyone? Anyone else who can enhance my knowledge? Why we are no more able to complete in the Docker? We are able to do it on container D. Why? Hmm? No one? Just a moment. No one?
no sir.
Okay, just a moment. Let's see. I'm trying to get a PPT which I have showcased. Come on. Just a moment. Okay, so let me tell you in this way. So in this picture, so where exactly we are at? Okay, where is our PPT? So in this picture, okay, so in this picture, what exactly we are mentioning? We are taking a Docker, correct? So Docker is what? Now Docker is container runtime interface, right? So to know, and what it is do? Now it is runs or Kubernetes. What is Kubernetes? Kubernetes manages, orchestrate containers, right? What is Docker? Now Docker is just an engine which provides us the ability to run containers, right? So that is where Docker is now, how the Docker architecture? Now Docker, then it is calling to the container D, right? Then it is calling to the run C and all, correct? Yes or no?
Yes sir.
Yes,
Correct.
yes,
So
yes.
now earlier case, what Kubernetes was doing by installing Docker, Kubernetes was calling Docker, then Docker was calling container D, then container D calling run C and creating the image or creating the container. So which is explained over here. Container. Okay, it's where exactly my previous PPT. This one. So this one. So if you look at this architecture, now what is happening by installing Docker on Kubernetes node, Kubernetes is calling Docker daemon. Docker daemon again is calling container D. Again, container D is calling run C and creating the containers. So Kubernetes, what they told, they decided, okay, let's me not connect with the Docker daemon. I can speak to container D, and container D is the one who manages all of my containers. So basically, I can, or Kubernetes can get one hop on. I mean, less hop. I mean, one more iteration it will lose, so that the faster it will be get deployed and management will be less overhead. That is why they dropped Docker support in 1.21. So, and they introduced Container D, because Container D is the container runtime interface. And with Container D, there is something called CRIO also comes into picture. And in the latest version, as Kubernetes has deprecated Docker support, that is why, as you can see, we are not able to load, or we are not able to run when the Docker daemon is running. So that is why I had to change, or I have to switch all the configuration to the Container D, and it is started working. So that is what exactly I meant by installing Container D. Understood now?
Yes, I got it.
Got it?
Got it.
Okay.
So any
So
why what I want to reach in the Docker API architecture, because there is nothing to manage the container D. Only Docker daemon is the one thing that is managing the container D. But here
correct.
in case of Kubernetes, already one managing part is there, Kubernetes
Yes.
daemon. So why we connect
Not
daemon
Kubernetes is
then to
not a
container?
Kubernetes is not a daemon. It's a orchestration engine which
No, yeah,
manages
okay.
the containers. So already, to Kubernetes is now, directly connect with the container D, but earlier what exactly happening? It was connect to the Docker. Again, Docker was again connecting to the container D. So why there is a one hope? Kubernetes, which manages the containers, and containers being created by container D. Again, it is from a calling from a API from the Docker. So Kubernetes can do the same thing, right? So that is where Kubernetes directly connect to the container D. That's it, done deal. Docker is out. Got it? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Clear now?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. So now let's see. I think it is having a little bit of trouble. Let me see what's exactly we can do. How many of you having Google Cloud machines or having access to the virtual box or something? How many of you are having? Because I wanted to give this task to you guys. Because if I am doing it, I'm only enhancing my knowledge. I wanted to you guys to do this and follow some of the errors and come back to with me some errors. How many of you having access?
Yes, I have.
Okay, one. Okay, how many? Next.
We were having by last time when we created that account, but it got exceeded the limit. Now we don't have the credit. If you could just add us in a IAM account, that would be really helpful.
No. I cannot do that because right now Google is kind of more vigilant. So they are looking at the credit details, credit things and all. I also exhausted all of my free credits within even my credit cards also. That means they are taking a look which credit card is used by whom. So the next moment, whenever the same credit card gets used, so they are not giving you any of the access. But what I can do, yeah, I cannot also do any help over here. You guys have to come up with your own plans. Say like either you create AWS or Azure or Google Cloud by providing a credit card, or by come up with this virtual box. I would say virtual box is the best solution, but there again it will be happening on the local. So best thing would be get onto the cloud. That would be the suggestion I can provide.
Okay, sir. I have AWS. I will try that.
AWS also the same thing, same. There won't be any kind of difference. You can get on one machine and you can do that, or you can create 3 machines with CentOS or Ubuntu, and you can do that as well. Understood? Okay, so now let me go ahead with this. Just a moment. So basically all the information I have, provided on this part. So if you guys can, follow these instructions and able to tell me, hey, I'm able to do that, then it would be great, yeah. Because rather than me, going through the same instructions again and again, there won't be any, I would say, basically any help. So if you guys are doing it, then that would be nice. What do you say? Or
Yes,
else
sir.
I will. Okay. Or else instance one. Just let me. See, as you can see, it is running all these Docker pods and all, but we are not at all using Docker. We are using container D. So yeah. Okay, so this is how exactly, let me showcase one, okay, so that it would be good. So I'll be just go ahead and I'll copy paste and I'll explain wherever I want. And so instance one, I'm just leaving it as it is, okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the same thing on this node, okay. So let me see free-m. It is having only 3 gig. Nope, it is not gonna do. Not gonna work. Just a moment. Okay, let me reset it. And let me try to do that something. So let me do the same thing once again on this node. Okay, so that I'll revert everything. Let's see. Okay. So if you are reset IP tables, please check out the contents of, you must remove them manually. Okay, this is done. Now Docker PS, nothing is running. So rpm-qa, grep kubectl. Okay, cube star, let me do that. Okay, so, so let me remove them. Remove. Right. I'm removing everything, every possible thing. Kubelet has been removed. Docker is being there. So let's follow the same thing once again. Configuring, nope. Okay. So install Kubeadm, get nope, Red Hat. So this is done. This is done. Okay. yum install. So this time let's provide with a, what is that node? What is that node? One. Okay. All right. So now this time let's kubelet. Let's provide, give the version details this time. Okay. -1.17 -1.17 -1.17. I think this should work. Okay, just a minute. 117.0. Okay, cool. 1.17.0. So this time Docker should work. Okay, so let's try that out. 0.0. So we are installing Docker Kubernetes 1.17, so that Docker, it should not ask anything on the container D, it should run on the Docker side. Okay, so now we have installed now systemctl. Okay, so now kubelet is not required. I think let's go ahead with this part. Okay, so systemctl enable kubelet. So last time I did a mistake with enabled. Now echo. I'll just fails echo. Okay. Now just start kubelet. Okay, done. Now let's initialize our cluster, which is Kubeadm init with pod network having the CIDR. Let's go ahead and let's do that. So this time that is, it is not going to use any latest one. It is going to use the 1.17, which is a stable, and is again easily you can see the newer version is 1.21, but falling back to stable 1.17. So this time we are not using the CRI, which is container runtime interface, as Docker, not container D. Okay, all right. So it is given us, options. Say like I am copying this one. Okay. So what exactly it has been done? So first thing, it has pulled all of the information as it can. Okay, so I have mentioned that. So it is check that, okay, what is the Kubeadm version? Kubeadm version is 1.17. Newer one is 1.21. It is fall back to 1.17. That everything it is trying to check, and it is pulled all those images, whatever it is required. See, running the Kubernetes cluster, it may be take on 1 or 2. So we'll pull the images. It is wrote the configuration YML file. PKI authentication has been done, and all these API server has been created, generated all these mutual SSL keys. DNS name has been set up, and also the CIDR has been done. All these kubeconfig has been created, that is on the etc Kubernetes, and also all configuration whatever we need has been also been created and available on this etc Kubernetes. So after some time, it is going to spit out your initial, control plane is ready. It is going to initialize basically how do you initialize, and also if you want to connect to this cluster as a regular user, you can I have also showcased that one. As a normal user, you can go ahead and you can apply to this from if you are doing it from a root. So this one, which is a token which is being created from this master node to join the worker node. Already it has been showcased that If you want to join any number of worker nodes, you can go ahead and you can paste that. I'm just taking this one and I am saving it here. Okay, I'm saving it here. Just I'm at saving it. Then I'm following these guys. Make directory, exit. So make directory, copy, ch1 your config, cube, yes, copy, then ch1, done. So now if I'll do kubectl version -- short short, it's going to provide me, see, client version is 1.17 and server version is 1.17.17. Earlier, if you have seen, it was showing me version 1.21. So now let's go ahead and add the next, add the worker node, okay? To do that, let me go over here and check what are all the things it is happening. Manual install. So, and let me do the get nodes as well. Showcase that one. Get nodes, and as you can see, instance 1, it is ready, and it is role is master, and version is 1.17. Okay, so now let's check this out. What's exactly it is happening? So let's get the pods, and in all the namespaces. So, yeah. So as you can see, that core kubectl system is the namespace default namespace, and that is the administrative namespace, and that is why namespace is Q system, and all of the core components or the components from the master nodes, it is running. As you can see, API server, instance, manager, proxy, everything, scheduler, every possible part it is running. But the code DNS is not working, right? So prior to that, let's add a node, and let's see what's exactly happening. Whew. So what is that? Here is the node. Okay, so now let me do the same information, same thing, whatever I have done on this node, because the same kind of Kubeadm, everything has to be there. So let's go ahead and let's do that. But this time you do not have to do kube init. Okay, apart from that, whatever you needed for your, to run, that one only you will be doing that. So the repo has been added. Okay, this is also done. Now install Cubelet. Remember, this one we are going to do as a worker node, okay? 17.0, sorry, 0 dash Kubeadm same dash 1.17.0.
Do we need Kubeadm because it's not master,
Yes,
right?
yes. Because we are, no, this is the, I'll show you. Kubectl, Kubeadm, Cubelet, okay? That's it. So I have installed everything. All right, so now things has been installed. Even you can, after installing, you can also start your Docker. This what means enable the kubelet. That is also you have to do. Let's do that. The kubelet. Very tiring process here. Very, very complicated process. Started. Okay. Now I have the token, right? So let's go to that token. Now you know why you need Kubeadm.
Okay.
Baba? Clear? Why we need
Yeah.
Kubeadm?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Now let's do that. And it is going to do all these things. And as you can see, this node has joined the cluster. Now get back to your master node, kubectl, get nodes.
Clear the screen. We are not able to see that
Yeah,
down.
yes. Now I'm on the master node, kubectl get nodes, and it is telling instance 1 is ready, but instance 3 is not ready. But on the cluster, it is already being there. So why it is not ready? Because who can tell me why it is not ready?
The DNS kube system core DNS. There is no
Okay,
routing to.
that's fine. That's a DNS. That's a DNS. DNS, prior to DNS, there is something important comes prior to that. What's that? Who can tell
We
me?
can
Soumik, certified engineer, please.
check the what are the ports running in the node.
That's fine. That's fine. That's a separate part.
No,
Abhishek,
join.
Soumik, Abhishek, you guys are working,
भाई
right?
मैं जानती थी कि तुम भूल जाए गुट्टे में टाइम दिला
हाँ, गोटे मिनटी कहीं 5 मिनट नहीं हो? Okay, who can tell me? How do we add multi-host, multi-node? What exactly we need? What exactly is that?
Do you need to configure the host section, etc host? Because
No. If you want to host etc, then what kind of distributed system we are talking about? Who can tell me? Okay, so how do you configure multi-host? Huh? At least now, at least I can
multi
have.
either Docker Swarm or Kubernetes cluster.
Okay, Docker Swarm and Kubernetes. To enable that, what exactly we
भाई
need?
दीजिए भाई क्यूब से तो apply happiness पास कर दीजिए
What? You are a certified engineer, so please speak like a certified one, not like another person.
जो नेटवर्क प्लगइन को पास कर पड़ियो
Huh? What?
ଆମେ जो नेटवर्क प्लगइन यूज करने कालिको पैनल से
What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that?
नेटवर्क
Calico
प्लगइन
Eh?
नेटवर्क प्लगइन
Man, no, yeah. Okay, so I have told, by speaking loudly, overlay. What is this overlay network do, man? Huh?
Okay.
What's exactly it do?
It's
Overlay network,
multi-host networking to
right? Multi-host networking, correct? So now your node has been joined, correct? But it is not ready. Why it is not ready? Because the network interface is not ready. What do we call? That is, we call it as container networking interface, which provides proxy, kubelets. Who connects with the kubelet?
kube proxy.
How a kubelet connects?
Using
Huh?
kube proxy.
Using kube proxy, right? So how kube proxy will come to know? That means we have to run a CNI, correct? Container networking interface, correct? So that one is Soumik
भाई तो
Bhaiya.
तय कहली
No. You told me something about network plugin, Calico. You are not even sure what is network container networking interface, right? So no, I'm not going to take that. Not at all. It has to be clear, completely in words. CNI, it's a CNI. CNI you guys are missing. It's a overlay we guys are missing. It has to be complete. container network interface. It's an overlay network because we are talking over here multi-host, right? Understood?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so now who gives us that? Now, companies like Weave, companies like Calico, companies like Kubernetes CNI, even Kubernetes CNI is also there by default. Okay, we have not used it, but we can, you can use it. But you can choose Calico, we can choose anything we want, right? So the missing part is we are missing CNI, container networking interface, the where it will gonna connect to another one. Understood?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what also I have mentioned. So I'm just going to take it, kubectl apply. I'm going to take CNI as Calico, and I'm going to take apply Calico. With that, it is going to create many things. I'm not going ahead with that. So basically it is going to create a separate overlay network on top of your master, on top of your worker, and all the pods is going to work on there. Okay, so now if I'll do get nodes, that's it. There you go. Your Kubernetes cluster has been ready.
So you have installed on the master only. We no need to install
Yeah.
in any node.
Okay, so I think, oh, shoot. Nope. Okay, so I'll showcase once again. So there are many things is being created. Okay, so I'll showcase. So these are config map. Again, I will showcase, tell you what's exactly. This is CRD, custom role definition. We are not talking about that one. This is custom role, sorry, cluster role binding, then airbag, then apps. See, this is running as a daemon set. I do not have to do it at all. So the moment when I run it, if
Got
I
it.
do Docker PS, that's it. Calico node is running. Automatically your Calico or your overlay system is running as that, just like that. And you moment when you do kubectl get nodes, that's it. See, node 1 and node 3 is now a Kubernetes clustered, managed Kubernetes cluster. And with this, you feel free, feel happy that you have created your own Kubernetes cluster on your own hands. And which is, to be honest, not that easy, very tough, and very, this one, no, right now, if you'll see, the instructions are pretty clear. I think this one, when I have done this one, May 15, 2020. Okay, almost 1 year back. So when that time, Kubernetes have not deprecated Docker. That time I have done it containerd. So yeah, so you might have, seen how much errors I might have faced. Okay, so yes, this is what exactly it is. I wanted to tell you our installation of Kubeadm with managing a cluster, Google Cloud, complete one-stop shop, and also with Docker Desktop with Minikube. Whew. Yeah, I think I'm good from my side. You have any questions? I'm all yours.
Got it, sir.
Interesting.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I think I'm done, and I'm good from my side. You guys have to do it, practice it,
Yes.
and definitely. Okay, how many of you have done this prior to this?
Yeah, I have done one time in my local.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Okay,
so, but
and
because that system is very slow, that's why if you run two nodes, also it is not working properly.
okay,
Virtual
okay,
machine. I run in
okay.
virtual machine.
And what about Saumik, and what about Abhishek?
ଭାଇ ଆପଣ ମେ ରେ କରିଥିଲେ, ମୁଁ ଜୁନ ରେ କରିଥିଲି ସେମ୍।
Acha, acha. Okay, okay. And
କିନ୍ତୁ actually ମୁଁ ମୋତେ ମନେ ହେଲାନି କି ଟର୍ମ ଟା ମନେ ନାହିଁ କିନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଥିଲି ଜିନିଷ କହିପାରୁନଥିଲି actually.
we are recording. So if you speak in English, that would be good.
Okay, sorry.
No
That I know
problem.
the concept and everything, but I couldn't able to speak what is the real terms like CNI or.
Yeah, so think like, you are in an interview, and if you'll do network plugin, that is that, then and there only you are gone, right? So what that interviewer will think, he'll say, no, this guy is having bookish knowledge, correct? And this is what exactly I am trying to change with this, providing completely real-time scenario, real-time parts. All right, good, no problem. What about Abhishek? What about you? You have done
Yes,
this?
yes.
Or?
No, still. I mean, for this thing, I have not started, but Docker some of the part I have to practice that one.
Okay, so I want you guys to go over with this again and again, complete your setup, then only we will proceed further to the next level, okay? Because next two onwards, I'm not going to showcase how to create the cluster. I'm going to showcase the next level of stuff. Complete next level, complete. See, this is when one stop, it is created many multiple roles, right? You have to understand what all these things are. So that is what exactly I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about this, okay? So feel free to practice and let me know if you have any kind of questions, okay? Good.
Yes.
All right, yeah, I think I'm good from my side.
Yes.
I'm going to close the session and recording will be available once it is being done. Cool. All right. Chalo, bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. And let me know how exactly today's session is all about, okay? It is hard, or it is
Yes,
bad, or
sure.
it is ugly, or it is
Sure.
somewhere, going somewhere.
It is too hard, but at the end, what the point?
Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. Perfect. Yeah. Chalo, bye-bye.